Welcome, you guys. Good morning. I finally got my day off. Well, my day off comes today because it's Wednesday. All right, I'm always off on Wednesdays. My conversation this morning is about. Well, I absolutely love my little friend Birdie Bird. She always gets me going. All right, and but Sable, I just want to tell you, when it comes down to God. And this is really for everybody, Our Bible is situated between what is considered mankind and womankind. Let's just cut down to the chase, all right? This idea that it's about mankind and womankind. And there's a duality involved here. Both the male and the female in the situations that are unclean is represented in our Bible as the Satan, and the female side of this Satan is religion, our works, and it's right there in the Bible. That's what we do. The Bible, the word is the works. This is representing the female entity of the whore that's riding on the back of man. That's how it works. All right. Now, there is a brighter side to this too, because this is about duality. That means there's a negative side and a positive side to both sides. All right. So when Father is all by himself, this is just Lucifer. And you are the beast. You are this beast. All right. You're a 666. You're numbered. You're in a situation where you're at the lowest level of your existence. And you and the whore are one. They come together as one. This is basically in the stories where it's going from a mother to a wife. So you're taking on a wife, dropping off mother. And so this is just, it's coming down in the situation. And so when we are in this situation, we're all unclean. We're this Nazarene. We're the Nazarite, or however which way you like to say it. But the idea is that we have to remain unclean while we're with the Father, and this mother and our brothers and our sisters. And we're supposed to be this way. We're supposed to be like white. This idea that we are just good, just wonderful angels while we're being unclean. That's it. But we're doing our job. This is the trespass. This is where we get our trespasses from. Remember, God does both things to us. So not only is the lower mind devil, the Satan side of us, the lower conscious, and we're supposed to cut ourselves off from this. All right. So you go to church, right? You go to church. The gospel is preached to you because you're poor. You ain't got no God in you. It's telling you all along that you do, So there's a trick there. It's really not a trick. It's just you're stupid. The Bible tells us that it's written in two ways. It's got one for the good guys or for the worthy, and there's one for the unworthy. And so it just depends on which side you cling to. And all of us cling to the Bible. All of us are clinging to the Word. All of us, regardless what religion that you're working off, you're working off of what you see. The only thing available to you is what you see. And then you argue with me about, fasting means to stop eating. No, fasting could also mean to stop feeding the mind, to shut it down too. Oh no, it can't mean that. Praying, praying could I'm saying, God, how you doing, God, looking up. It also could be going inside and doing it in private and doing it as a meditation as well. But, garments, that's our skin. Bread, that's our skin. I don't change any of the words. I only change the meaning, and I'm not changing the meaning. I'm revealing what it actually means. That's what it is. So you have a different word for bread. So I don't care. What I know is so clean and so crisp and so beautiful that I can't see that you can't jump over to this other side so easily. It's a matter of semantics. You're never gonna get saved. But like Sarah, the word Sarah, when they first came about, they were in a place where she had no baby, no children, and they're looking for an inheritance. And what are we supposed to inherit? We're supposed to inherit some great land somewhere. And of course, all the religious people, it's those Jewish people. They get their own homeland. And as long as we praise them, then God will praise us too. Praise those Jewish people all you want. You get absolutely nowhere. You're just swatting the air, But you want to go ahead and do that, that's okay. That's more of the folly. What God is looking for us to do is to be able to let his people free. And as long as you think that his people are those Jewish people, those people that are looked at as Jewish from the outside, whereas the Bible tells us the Jewish person, the guy who actually serves God is someone who is an inwardly person. It's not an outwardly person. All right. And so you would see that in this child situation, we're trying to set free our soul. Our soul is what has been put down into swaddling clothes. And this swaddling clothes means it's been bound tight. It can't move. Jesus calls us the grave. We're made out of dirt. So the soul is inside of us. The seed is planted in the earth, in the dirt. The seed is our soul. In order to free this soul, you have to go from father and the bitch. You've got to go from the outside way of thinking, which is the Western way of thinking, to an Eastern way of thinking, which is what I teach here with those 4 worlds. It's about changing your mind, right? This is how God fixes you. This is how he kills you. But before this happens, you have to follow the bitch. You have to have the bitch on your back. You got to. She's representing an outside womankind. She's representing this outside. She's the stranger. She's the street. It's because of her that we can't roam in our own streets. It's because of her that we are told not to feed from the vine. It's because of her that we are locked in tight. Our soul is separate from the human being, the person itself. This is Father out here. This is the Son inside of us, the Son of Man. This is this Jesus that we're talking about. And we don't have to beat us up and kill us in order to bring Jesus alive or bring him free, to free him. It's a meditation situation where we sit down and we take no thought. We break bread, which is the skin, and then we drink wine. And we do this in remembrance of Jesus. So if you want to bring Jesus into your life, you have to learn to break bread and drink the wine. It only takes one time. And then mother moves in and the bitch is gone. I no longer go to church. You don't have to go to church. There's no more of that. You're forgiven of your sins. And you don't have to be told this. It just comes into you. It's a natural thing. It's just beautiful. Now, Father, which was Satan, has been lifted higher. There's no more lower mind. And Mother has come in to fill in this grievous head wound, this place of desolation, this place that's gone, something's missing. She takes in and takes her place. And the old bitch, gets her legs broken. Legs is the 4th kingdom in us, this idea of we go now from being run and inhabited by thieves and robbers to we get something beautiful out of this. Sarai goes from being just the princess to being my princess, which becomes more of a single thing. But the first part about this is that she's a barren. She didn't have anything going on. After the breath of God, after after Abraham gets his God on, does she finally have a child so that this child then can go, Isaac, and bring their inheritance? And the only thing that we get out of this is a peace of mind. It's an individual's challenge. It's not for the outside world. That's the folly. You're not going to get anywhere with a bitch on your back, except for that if you don't do this, if you're not part of religion, then you are not a part of God. You have to follow. You have to be this devil. You have to follow this bitch. You have to do this. This is what we told them we would do. This would be our job. And when our job is done, we go into meditation and we kill ourselves. We didn't really kill ourselves. And all our lives, it's whatever we've done all our lives is where the terror and the torture and the trouble, and the good things, all of whatever it is making you who you are. Those are the works. And this is what's represented as the idea that you being trampled and beat and tortured, because this is what we do to each other out here in the main world. In the main world, this is where we learn how to rebuild this temple inside of us. We have to take on from the outside donations into us to build this temple inside of us. We have to go to the outside world to get this part. We have to go over here to get this part. We have to come over here to get this thing. We're building the temple within us. And so every time we work and open our mouths to God with the bitch on our backs, it's our trespasses. And we continue our trespasses against God as we think of God, as we think of Satan as our God. You just can't help but stick your foot in your mouth every time you say something like that. And it pisses off the female side, and it just gets further and further away. But in reality, that's our job. We're supposed to do this. But one day you'll finally figure it out. Oh, everything is about duality. You come into this world, just your body. You got your soul. You already know in the Bible it says, I've come in and with the sword, I've taken away all of your firstborn. And what we want to do, in order to, when you're running around, it takes away your firstborn. We still have our soul in us. It's just tight and caught up in a mess. It can't get out. Poor thing. Jesus is born. Now, when Jesus is born, he's wrapped in swaddling clothes and he's lying in a manger. That means he cannot move. And this manger is actually a feeding trough. And while he's in this situation, and all of those days between the day that he is born and until he becomes this, 30 years old or something like that. I'm not sure how it is. We don't hear anything about him. That's because he is doing his works, just like you and I. And of course, he never sins, he's a perfect guy, everything, No. When we finally get this birth of Jesus, and then they take off to Jerusalem, it's the idea of we're now going into meditation. That's part of the works as well. We have to travel from the lower levels to the higher levels. So this is Jesus traveling, doing all his works as he's working his way up here to this place. And he finally gets to the place where he's with, Pontius Pilate and all. This is the boss. He's finally made it all the way up to here. That's the 33rd vertebrae, right? They have this same scope of things on the outside. If you want to be a true devil of things, then there's 33 places for you to travel to get to this place too. That's an outside thing. You don't have to do too much to increase in your health, all right? But what you do have to do is meditate in order to correct this hell, to take you from hell into heaven. And there is no other way. And the way it comes down to it is heaven is a state of mind. And until you can bring mother and father both to work at the same time, then you're just this devil. You're this hellacious child of hell, and religion becomes the synagogue of Satan. All of them. All of you guys. And you can't birth your child because you're running around with another male consciousness. This bitch, this whore on the back of man is representing what is outside of us. So this idea is that you're not going to get nowhere. You're not going to get anywhere with the bitch on your back. We have to sling her back out into the street. And the only way that we can do that is by taking a stone, putting it inside of a little pouch of some kind, spinning it around, and aiming for this particular place. And we want to knock Father out. We want to kick his ass. We want to put him to sleep. And then while he's asleep, we take his own sword, his head off, just like that. Now we're separated from above and below. We are now floating in this place that we call the valley, the shadow of death. This is where we are. We're not to fear any evil, because while we're in this place, there is no evil. Father has been put to sleep. We've taken no thought, and the right side of our mind, or the left side of our mind, has fallen asleep. Oh my God. In the Bible, the doors open, right? The prisoners' chains fall to the ground. All of them, workers or the men in the town or the guards that are guarding you, go to sleep. They all fall asleep. Now you make your escape and you take off. Now that's the way it works. And it's a meditation situation. You want to free what's inside of you. Let him free. Let God's people free. And you certainly are not God's people. All right? He's talking about the soul. But as soon as you do, let this go. Once you let this go, it's like lightning striking from the east to the west. And boom, there you are. Now you're a product of God, inside and out. You've cleaned the insides of our body. We have gone inside ourselves and we've taken care of what needs to be cleaned on the inside. And we've tired of cleaning the outside. Now we're clean in and out. That's how it works, you know. So when you believe that you have to kill someone, brutally attack them and torture them and then murder them, and this brings your salvation, you think that that's what happens to Jesus? That we can beat the hell out of him and then murder him, and that takes care of our salvation? That's not. I don't even know how to go about making out to be stupid or ignorant. You cannot be saved by someone else's works. You cannot. No one can die for you. Wow, what a great idea. He died for me. Thank you, Jesus. Well, that's just ignorant and stupid. All right? I don't care who I lose on these things. This is ignorant and stupid. In order for me to have made it over to this other side, all I had to do was live my life, take good and bad as I went, and then one day learn how to sow the seed correctly, how to take care of my own child, how to set him free, how to send him up to meet mother. And I didn't have to kill myself to do this. I don't have to spill blood. But you just, oh, wow, my people are literate. That's what God says. And as long as that exists, your ignorance also exists. Do you understand? It's so profound. My people are literate. Enjoy your poverty. Chat with you soon. Hope you got something out of this. I'm free today, so I'll come back and maybe do a lesson later. All right. I love you guys. And Birdie Bird, I love you. You take care of yourself. All right.